Sit, son. Right there, by the fire. No, don't look away. You're old enough to hear this now. Old enough to understand what blood really means, and what the moon remembers. You've asked me 100 times about the scars on my hands, about why I can't sleep when it rains, about the locket I wear that isn't yours. Tonight, I'll tell you everything. About your mother. About the war. About the night I stopped being a wolf and became an alpha. Your mother's name was Rain. You've got her eyes, storm gray, with that little flash of gold when you're angry. She used to say your eyes were her favorite part of me, long before she knew what kind of man I really was. Back then, I was nothing special. Just another wolf in the Cedar Hollow pack, always running from fights I couldn't win. Until the day she walked into my life like a sunrise after 10 years of winter. She wasn't born wolf, you know. Just a human girl from the valley, selling herbs and stories. But her laughter could make the whole forest lean closer, just to listen. And when she looked at me, the noise in my head, the growling, the rage, it went quiet. The first time we talked, she was arguing with an old merchant over the price of moon wine. I stepped in, told him to back off, and she looked up at me like I was some kind of trouble she wanted to try. "You always save girls in markets?" she asked. "Only the dangerous ones," I told her. And that was it. The beginning. The end. The whole damn story. We spent a season learning each other's silences. Her favorite smell was cedar. She hated the cold, but loved the snow. She said the moon made her heart race, even though she didn't know why. I should have known then. The moon was already calling to her. When the full moon came, she'd stay outside, staring up at it like it was speaking to her. I'd watch from the woods, afraid to tell her what it really meant, afraid she'd run if she knew what I was. But she didn't run. She never did. The night she found out, I was bleeding, bad, from a fight with a rogue. I stumbled into her cabin, half wolf, half man, full idiot. She didn't scream, didn't faint. She just said, "You're late." Then she wrapped me in a blanket, pressed her hand to my wounds and said, "If you're a monster, then I guess I'm not afraid of monsters anymore." That's when I knew I was done hiding. Done pretending to be less. Because Rain didn't just love me, she believed in me. When she found out she was pregnant, I swear the stars themselves stopped to listen. She laughed and cried all at once, said she didn't know how to raise a wolf. I told her, "You don't raise a wolf. You love one. The rest comes naturally." We built a little house near the ridge, far from the pack. I hunted. She sang to her belly every night. Said you kicked the hardest when she sang Luna's lullaby. You still hum it in your sleep sometimes. Those were the quiet days, before the war, before the blood. But peace never stays long when the old powers wake. The first attack came on a new moon. No light, no warning, just screams and the scent of silver and ash. The vampires broke the ancient truce, came down from the hills like shadows with teeth. They took our lands, our kin, our hope. And they took her. I was out hunting when it happened. I smelled her fear before I heard her cry. By the time I reached the cabin, the walls were splattered with blood and claw marks. The door hung open, and her necklace, your mother's moonstone, was lying in the dirt. I called her name until my throat bled, but only the forest answered. 3 nights later, I found one of them, a vampire scout, young, stupid and proud. I broke him in half before he could scream, and in the last flicker of his life, he whispered one name. Lucian. Lucian the Pale. Vampire Lord, old as sin and twice as cruel. He wanted her. He wanted the child she carried. You. Because of the prophecy. The one that said a hybrid born under the blood moon would end the war, or start a new one. I hunted Lucian for 40 days, 40 nights. I didn't eat, didn't shift, didn't speak. The pack said I was mad. Maybe I was. Grief makes beasts of us all. When I finally found his fortress, the moon was full and red as blood. I tore through his guards like wind through leaves. Every swing, every bite was your mother's name. When I reached the throne room, Lucian was waiting, calm, smiling, holding her hand. She was alive, pregnant, pale, but alive. Don't, she said when she saw me. If you fight, he'll kill the baby. Lucian smiled with those perfect white teeth. Your son will be born tonight, he said. And when he cries, the world will change. I told him, you're right about one thing. And then I changed. The wolf took over. The room shook. Stones split. Flames rose. Your mother screamed your name before you were even born. Lucian lunged for her, and I tore him apart. But his bite landed first. Silver. Poison. By the time I reached her, she was bleeding too fast. She looked up at me and smiled. Tell him, she whispered. Tell our son I wasn't afraid. She died in my arms under the blood moon. And you took your first breath wrapped in her blood and light. I carried you back through the woods, half crazed, half dead. The pack met me at the ridge. They saw the moon above me, red and bright, and they knelt. That's how I became Alpha. Not because I wanted power, because I had nothing left to lose. The first order I gave was an oath, one every wolf still swears to this day. We do not bow to fear. We do not surrender to shadow. We protect our own, and we remember the fallen beneath the blood moon. That oath made us stronger than the vampires ever imagined. We hunted them, drove them from the valleys, built this peace on the bones of that war. But I didn't fight for revenge, son. I fought for you. For the chance that you'd grow up in a world where love didn't always end in fire. You were a quiet pup, strong, curious, always staring at the sky like it owed you answers. Sometimes I'd find you sitting by her grave, holding that same moonstone necklace. You'd ask me when she was coming back, and I'd tell you, she never left. She's in the wind that follows the hunt. She's in the fire when it warms your hands. You'd nod like you understood. Maybe you did. You've always been wiser than me. Now you're grown. The pack listens when you speak. The young ones follow your scent through the forest. You've got her courage and my stubbornness. Which means you'll probably make the same mistakes I did. So listen to me, son, because this is the part I never told anyone. Lucian didn't die that night. Not completely. Vampires like him don't die easy. His body burned, but his shadow lived. Sometimes, when the wind turns cold, I hear his voice in the trees. He whispers about the prophecy, about the hybrid born under the blood moon, about you. And I don't know if that means you'll save us or destroy us. But whatever comes, whatever hunts you, hates you, or fears you, remember this. You were born from love, not war. And that's what makes you dangerous. When the next blood moon rises, you'll lead the pack. I'll be gone by then. The old wolves always go when the moon calls. It's the way of things. But when you hear the howl in the distance, don't be afraid. That's me. That's her. That's every wolf who fought to give you this world. And when you hold your child for the first time, when their heartbeat finds yours, tell them the truth. Tell them monsters are real. That love is the only thing that ever scared them. And that the blood moon never forgets its own. So that's the story, son. Our story. Her story. The reason this fire still burns. You were the light that rose from the ashes of the darkest night. And no matter what they call you, hybrid, prophecy, curse, you'll always be the reason the wolf in me learned to love again. Now go on, sleep, dream of her voice, and when you wake, look to the east. If you see a red moon on the horizon, that's her, watching over you. Until the next moon, my son.